There's this problem at almost every job, this kind of constant low-level friction that just slows everybody down. Well, today we're going to look at a pretty major upgrade to ChatGPT that's trying to solve exactly that by giving your AI a brain that actually gets your business. I mean, how many times have you heard a question just like this one? Or, let's be honest, asked it yourself. Finding the answer probably means digging through old emails, searching Slack, trying to find that one specific document. It's such a simple question, but the answer is always frustratingly complicated, and it really just captures the whole problem we're diving into today. So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll tackle the problem itself, what I'm calling the information maze. Then, we'll look at the solution, see how it actually works, get into the big, important question of data privacy, and finally explore how you can really put this thing to work. All right, let's just start with the daily grind. The whole reason that simple question about company goals is so hard to answer is because, well, we're all living and working inside this giant information maze. Just think about it for a second. All the really important stuff, the context about your projects, your customers, your big decisions, it's scattered everywhere. It's broken up across a dozen different apps that, don't talk to each other. So your brain has to be the bridge that connects it all. And that right there is the heart of the issue. The one single accurate answer you need is almost never in just one place. It's a piece of a Slack thread over here, a paragraph in a Google Doc over there, and a data point from a support ticket somewhere else. Trying to piece all that together is just a massive waste of time. But what if you didn't have to be that bridge anymore? This is where OpenAI's new feature comes into play. It's called Company Knowledge, and it's designed to be that central, intelligent brain for all of your company's scattered information. So what is it exactly? Well, it's a feature for the paid ChatGPT plans, Business, Enterprise, and Edu, that connects directly to the apps you use for work. Think Google Drive, Slack, GitHub. The whole point is to give you answers that aren't just generic, but are actually grounded in your company's real-world context. The tech that's making this all possible is built on a really powerful new model that's designed to pull info together from a bunch of different places. And, this is so important, it provides citations for every single response. So it's not some black box just spitting out answers, it actually shows you its work, which is absolutely key for building trust. Okay, so that's the big idea. But what's it actually like to use? Let's get into the mechanics and see how you go from a simple question to a fully sourced, useful answer. The whole process is meant to be super straightforward. You just have to turn on Company Knowledge, connect your work apps, which you only have to do the first time, and then you just ask your question. The system does all the heavy lifting, and what you get back is a real answer, complete with clickable sources. And here's where you really see the difference. If you ask the standard ChatGPT to get you ready for a client call, you're going to get a generic template. But with Company Knowledge, you get a briefing doc that's built from the actual recent conversations, emails, and support tickets for that specific client. It's the difference between being handed a generic map and having your own personal tour guide. And it gets even more sophisticated than a simple search. It's actually designed to handle ambiguity, like if it finds different viewpoints on those company goals we talked about. It can also understand time, so you can ask it to summarize performance back in Q1 without having to manually dig through archives yourself. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Hooking up all your company's internal data to an AI sounds a little risky, right? This is probably the most important part of this whole thing, so let's talk about security and privacy. So, the single most crucial point is right here. OpenAI is making a very clear promise. Your business data is not and will not be used to train their models. That's the default setting, and it's meant to address the #1 concern for any company looking at this tech. And they're backing that promise up with these 4 big pillars. First, admins have total control over who can access what. Second, on privacy, it respects all your existing permissions. Third, security, we're talking enterprise-grade stuff like encryption and SSO. And finally, compliance tools for auditing. They are clearly going all in on earning that enterprise-level trust. All right, so with security out of the way, let's get back to the exciting part. What can you actually do with this? How does it really change the way your team works day in and day out? This is about way more than just asking simple questions. This tool is designed to help with the complex, creative work. I'm talking about taking raw customer feedback and turning it into a real strategy, or automatically building performance reports, and even planning your next big product release. Let's take that first one, strategy. Just imagine being able to instantly pull together all the common themes from your customer support tickets, your latest survey results, and even just the chatter in public Slack channels. You'd get a real-time pulse on what your customers actually want. I mean, that's an incredibly powerful tool for any product roadmap. Or how about making reports? Instead of spending hours manually pulling data from your CRM, then finding the campaign brief in Google Docs, and then hunting down stakeholder feedback in your email, you can just ask it to generate a performance summary using all of those sources at once. And for all the tech teams out there, this is a huge one. Before a new release, it can scan your code repositories, check your project management tool, and review your engineering channels to give you one complete summary of every outstanding issue and unresolved bug. Now, it isn't perfect yet. To be totally transparent, there are a couple of limitations right now. You have to manually turn it on for each new conversation, and while it's active, other cool features like web browsing or making images are disabled until you toggle it back off. But the key word there is current. OpenAI has a very clear roadmap for this. Pretty soon, this feature is going to be seamlessly integrated with all of ChatGPT's other capabilities. And they're constantly adding more connectors to popular apps, which will just make this central brain even smarter. So let's end with this. This kind of technology really moves AI from just being a clever assistant to being a true context-aware partner. And it brings up a really interesting question for all of us. If you could just get rid of that friction of finding information, if your AI truly understood everything happening inside your company, what new possibilities would that unlock? What would you build?